What up, 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 what up? What's going on, America? Yes, we are back again. It's your boys. We are in the building. Brooklyn Beards and Ball Sports Show. It's back. A crazy holiday weekend. Listen, we hope y'all had a great Merry Christmas. Enjoyed the family. Got some gifts. Santa was good to some, but not to others, clearly. You know what I'm saying? But listen, we here. We in the building. It was a rough week for me and my boy D, but we here because that's what we do. And it's all about the show, and it's all about doing what we do. But it's the Brooklyn Beards and Ball Sports Show. We got some winners, we got some losers. We got my boy Don in the building. Scrap representing Philly is in the house. Fins up, boys down. Corey's in the building. He's ready to represent his Dolphins today, of course. But listen, before we get into all this good sports show stuff, we need y'all to do us a favor as always. We need you to like. We need you to share. We need you to subscribe. Hit that little notification button on YouTube. YouTube, what's up with you? Facebook, make some noise. You know what I'm saying? We thank you for the love. We thank you for the support. We thank y'all for jumping in and showing us some love. And by the way, man, did anybody see the pig party last night? Who was invited to the pig party last night? It was picks for everybody last night. A pick for you and a pick for you and a pick for you. Listen, it was picks for everybody. I tell you, your boy Purdy was handing out picks like Oprah hands out cars. But it's all good, though. You know what I'm saying? I had to get it in. That's all, y'all. I was waiting for that one. I just had to get it in. But it's all good because it's coming back. No worries. No worries. No worries. It's coming back. Don, man, what's up with you, bro? You all right over there, man?
Oh yeah. Okay? It's all good, man. Listen, I cannot wait for this show because I know that everyone has been licking their chops, waiting for us to lose. And that's cool. Listen, I'm gracious in victory as well as defeat. But I do have receipts and I do have an explanation for a lot of stuff that happened. I mean, listen, it was a bad game. Is my opinion of my team changed? Do I not think that we will be in Vegas in February with confetti coming down on us in victory? No. So we'll see what's going on. I'm glad. Congratulations to the Eagles and the Dolphins for their victories. But
don't congratulate us. Please
no, it's all good. But exactly. As soon as they win, like Rod, we'll get into it. We'll get into it because Rod would rather instead of his team is in the gutter and he's kicking the wino next to him because it's ridiculous. That's a ridiculous cowboy mindset. We're losers, but we're wallowing in the losses. But it's okay. We're gonna address it. Without further ado, let's get into it. Week 16 is in the books. As it was previously stated, there were winners and there were losers. We'll discuss the 49ers and their loss a little bit later. But let's start off with the Cowboys and the Dolphins. Now, we already were familiar with how the Cowboys played on the road. It was kind of a Jekyll and Hyde. World beaters at home, not so great on the road. And this was a golden opportunity for the Cowboys to not only beat a team that was above 500, beat a team that, in bizarro land, they would have an opportunity to face in the Super Bowl. But what did they do? And with the Eagles losing, right, they had an opportunity to really pressure the Eagles to win because, the NFC East is still wide open. And of course, the number one seed stretch. It's a stretch if you squint. They had an opportunity at the number one seed. This was an opportunity to really rubber stamp or stamp that they were a team in the NFC that belonged. They were playing Tua and the Dolphins. Now, I'll say this. The Cowboys showed that, listen, as far as it looks for the Cowboys, they're going to be on the road. I mean, we can kind of resolve that they're going to be on the road. They're not going to win the division. The Eagles have an easier schedule. But then the concern is if you're terrible on the road, most teams, if they know that their weakness is, hey, listen, we play completely different at home than we do on the road, then we have to fight tooth and toenail to make sure that we're at home. that we give ourselves the best opportunity to showcase and play to the level that we know we're able to do. And so the fact that they've dropped games that they really should have won, i.e., Arizona and even this game, they had opportunities. They just couldn't get any traction. They had opportunities to win the game. The defense actually played pretty well. It was the offense that just couldn't get anything underway. So when they'll look back at this week and the Arizona week and some of the games that were winnable games that they dropped, that they didn't seize the opportunity. And I got to think they're going to be kicking themselves because it's a missed opportunity, because your percentage, your chance of getting deep into the playoffs has a direct correlation to if you get a bye, if you get to host a playoff game, and all of that stuff, as far as I'm concerned, is up in smoke. But I'm going to give the floor. I'm going to give Corey and Rod an opportunity to discuss it. Brothers, there would be brothers against brothers, and we're not for the show in general is about unity. We don't like to see brothers going head to head
at all.
Especially brothers,
this time of year,
blood brothers. We don't want that. This holiday, Christmas, and that all of the love and spending time with family and unity. We don't want to see that. But this show, we're going to have to explore that a little bit, and we'll give them an opportunity to discuss the highs and lows of the game. What do you guys say?
First off,
let Corey.
what's good, fellas? Everybody, I hope everybody had a great Christmas. First and foremost, I want to just say, shout out Cowboys. Played tough, good game. Kind of went how I expected it to pretty much go. Pretty good defensive game, going back and forth. And like I felt the defensive coordinator was going to make a difference in this game. And I think for the most part, CeeDee Lamb, explosive on the first drive, lining them up in a slot exclusively, something I felt like we had to adjust to. We did. I felt by taking him out for about a quarter and a half, messed up the rhythm between the two. I thought that was a big change in the game. I got to give shout outs to my man, Tua. Yo, played a great game. You know what I'm saying? So, he was pretty consistent. Good game from Tua. Very consistent. Maybe missed a few throws he was off on, but I felt he was it was a big game and he handled it pretty good at home. I felt we was able to run the ball, when needed, especially on that last drive. We pretty much told Dallas this is what we're going to do, and we did it. Went down the field. One of the best drives I felt of the game that we had was there as far as execution of plays. Kept Dallas pretty much unbalanced on that last drive there, and I gotta give enough respect. I felt it was a good win for us, very good win, and the way we won, that was really key. I felt like we went up by 2 scores in the fourth quarter. Dallas, we knew they was gonna make a run, but at the end we was able to stand tall. Good win here for us. You know what I'm saying? Feeling real good going to Baltimore. Feeling good.
Yeah, that's what's up. No, good win. As we always say, we use Corey's wife. Her maiden name is Goodwin. So anytime we be all in the chat and everything, and everybody get a win, we go, yo, that's Angela. We just start calling out Corey's wife's name because her last name is Goodwin, and it's a good win. So it's a good Angela for you, bro, no doubt. Good game, good playoff atmospheric type of situation there. If you're going into that game, you told me that we were going to hold Miami prolific offense to just 1 touchdown and 5 field goals. I'm like, I'll take that. Not to mention Morstead and Waddle being out and have being hurt, in-game injury, and then being out, not really being effective in the game after the injuries. I would take that. Holding Tyreek Hill to 99 yards. That within, obviously, when you put that into perspective, that's a pretty decent day defensively for your secondary. But when you look at this game for the Cowboys, it's a bad loss. And I agree with everything that D said in the opening. No question about it. As far as the NFC East is concerned, not happening. Dallas is going to have to go on the road. If we get to the Super Bowl, if that happens, it's all going to have to be done on the road. So, and I'll discuss maybe a little bit more of that later on another show regarding Dallas and what our outlook looks like going forward. But the truth is, in this game here with Miami, this was a game where you see again the problem with in-game adjustments. Dallas doesn't make that. After the first 25 scripted plays, it's like, oh man, we're not up by 21 points. What do we do? You know what I'm saying? And it's like, we don't know how to adjust offensively. And like Donald said, and I agree, this game is more in the offense than the defense. Yes, the defense needed a stop on that last drive, but at the end of the day, we still wasn't going to be able to stop the run. And that's the thing that Miami, all they needed to do was run the ball when they needed to run the ball. And they was able to make adjustments. So I'm going to make 2 quick points and then I'm going to toss it. Then when you look at the Dolphins and the adjustments that Mike McDaniels made, okay, you saw the long attempt to Tyreek Hill that came up incomplete, right? That was a threat. Then you saw the long pass to Waddle. Dallas said, okay, we're playing too high cover shell. We're not letting nothing get over top. So what did Mike McDaniels do? He said, I'm going to just hit the intermediary part of the field. I'm going to do what San Francisco's been doing all year long. I'm going to just hit guys right over the middle. I'm going to hit guys right in between the linebackers and the safeties. I'm going to move the safety a little bit, get somebody to threaten to go deep a little bit, open up a window, and hit my guy. I'm going to get Tyreek Hill the ball because that's my guy. I'm not going out of this game and not giving him targets. Unlike Dallas, who clearly Miami was not going to let us go deep, wasn't going to let us beat us deep. Fine. Ramsey wasn't following, and neither was, who was your other boy there? I'm sorry. I know my joint is freezing up here. Howard as well, right? So if you look at that, if you look at Howard the same, right? Howard wasn't doing nothing on CD. He was having his way with CD. I mean, CD was having his way with Howard. Howard, I ain't gonna lie, Corey. I think he slipped a little something. He ain't that shut down.
Well, no, I mean, like no, he really no, because Lamb was in the slot. All his damage came within the slot.
Lamb was in the slot,
and he caught about 2 pass. He caught that 4th down pass on 4th and 2, the one he pushed off one. He caught that one, but for the most part, it was Kahu he was killing in the slot.
Yeah, he was killing Kahu, and that's the bad part with the game, because it's like Miami said, okay, look, we'll give you Kahu, whoever is in the middle, whoever your slot is, just go ahead. We're gonna give you who that's gonna cover CD. So the whole truth is, Dallas, all they had to do was give CD 25 attempts. That's it. You let 2.5 quarters go by, and you never gave him an attempt. And CD set up the game. He's like, yo, it was weird. It's like you get me involved, but then you don't keep me involved. He's like, I don't know what happened. And even Jerry Jones said this morning. He said this morning on 105.3 The Fan. He said, they asked him, what happened to CD? Why did not CD get more targets in the game after having 94 yards in the first 2 drives of the game? He said, I don't know. I really don't know. Then he said something, well, other guys got to get the ball and different things like that. I mean, we can't throw the CD every down. And no one is, and I'm like, yo, don't insult the fan base's intelligence. Nobody's saying you got to throw the ball to CD every down. What we're saying, though, is that you got to get him the ball. You have to scheme him open if you got to. Because if you're in a slot, you ain't double teaming nobody really in the slot, bro. You know what I'm saying? And CD's going to outrun anybody. And CD's going to be able to get the windows if you're able, again, to adjust safeties. Now, here's my last point. And I get it. The pressure started to intense on the line. My thing is, again, with the coaching. Why isn't anyone on the sideline telling Edoga, who's our left tackle replacing Tyron Smith, you don't let Chubb run free to the quarterback. Your assignment is not to double block and help Tyler Smith, who can handle his own. He is a legit left guard who pancakes every week. He got his men. You ain't got to go help him. You don't let Chubb, somebody who's got 9.5 sacks, known to be a quarterback killer and can pressure the quarterback, you don't let him run in. You don't just let him run and think Dak is going to be able to release the ball in time. You can't do that. Somebody should have said to him, your man is Chubb. That's it. That's why you're here. You're playing today. You've been getting first team reps all year long because we don't practice Tyron during the week. He only practices on Thursday, Friday. That's it. We rest him because he's injury prone. He's a little long in the tooth now, so he's more susceptible to injury. Edoga is the first. You taking first team snaps. Why are you letting him on several occasions just run free to the quarterback? That made no sense at all. It's the same thing happened in Philly. When we was in Philly, same thing with Steele. No help, no chips. Nobody over there to double team to help Steele against Reddick and Graham. You just let them keep doing the same thing. Nobody makes adjustments. So I don't understand what's going on with Dallas when it comes to in-game adjustments. So to me, that was the difference. 2.5 quarters of not getting CD the ball. And I don't care. Vic Fangio, who actually owns Mike McCarthy, they had a lot of battles and wars back in the NFC Central days when he was a DC for Chicago and different things. You know, he used to give Mike McCarthy some fits and also gave him a fit in Dallas when he was back with Denver, and they came to Dallas and kind of shut our offense down when we were ranked number 1 at that point of the season. But the truth of the matter is they didn't really do anything different. Dallas just stopped going getting him the ball. And so when you have 2.5 quarters where your best player, who was on target for about 300 yards in that game, everybody talking about Tyreek gonna break the record against Dallas. Listen, he had more yards to spare. He could have gave Tyreek a few hundred yards by the time that day was over so he could break the record. Yo, you want to borrow 200 from me? I got you. You know what I'm saying? You could take that and add that to your stat, bro, because I'm going to have 500 when it's all done. Didn't even do it. You didn't even target your best player. So to me, and I'm not taking away, that's not the thing.
Yeah, I think you're definitely taking credit away from my defensive scheme. Because it was definitely adjustments made. You may have not seen them unless you see all 22.
We saw all 22.
I mean, for you to just say, you gotta look at and it's got to be something he was seeing different as a quarterback in the coverage scheme.
Pressure.
I mean, we see one thing on TV, but in order when them quarterbacks looking down the field, the coverage schemes is different. A lot of that is different.
We look at
the looks had to be different. For almost 2 quarters to not get the ball thrown to, he was seeing something different. It was something
he
had to be seeing.
He was seeing Chubb on his backside and seeing more pressure. That was the problem. The problem. Now I will say this, and I don't know what it was. Dak was holding the ball. I felt a little too long. I thought he was kind of going back to his old ways where for some reason he's not seeing the field because y'all was dropping cats back and that sort of thing. But again, you could defeat that. The too high shell does not. That in fact, Dak is 6th in the league against too high safety shell play. He's 7th in the league when it comes to scoring against that. So Dak, that's not a defense that can shut Dak down. That's not a defensive scheme that's going to shut the game down. Dallas, you still got opportunities. I don't care. You still can get CeeDee Lamb the ball. It doesn't matter, especially if he's lining up in the slot. If he's like just always on the outside, then that's one thing. But he's not. You can move CD around. So what I'm saying is there's no reason why he still could not have gotten touches or at least an attempt. So to me, it just didn't make sense why they did that. And then of course we couldn't get the stop on the final drive, and that's what killed us. You know, what you call this 15-yard penalty match that hurt us there with Damone Clark, and then that was it. You know what I'm saying? Y'all was able to just run the ball and kill the clock, and so good victory. You know, shout out to Miami. It was like you said, they won hard. 5 field goals and a touchdown. Then you told them that that's all they was going to get. They was going to tell you we're going to lose this game. There's no way. But that's what happened. So yeah, that's where I'm at. Yeah.
I have something quick and then I'll pass it to Scrap. Listen, overall, Miami won defensively. I was not impressed with their offense. Not one drop. If you win with 5 field goals, that with your offense, Tua, you had Waddle until he got injured. You had Tyreek. You should have really. I didn't see any great offense on display, and this is coming from a guy whose team the quarterback threw 4 interceptions. I wasn't impressed, and to win. I mean, Jason Sanders is the MVP. You should mention him more than you should mention Tua, because I didn't really. Tua gets the ball out of his hands fast, but he gets his hands. The ball out of his hands quickly every game. I just wasn't overall impressed. I think the defense, from the standpoint of they needed help. Chubb he was in the backfield too much, and they needed help. They needed to kind of shift people over to assist. When, Tyron was out, they should have added that assistance. Now, I know whoever his replacement was gets the first team snaps, but that type of veteran presence, that type of leadership, you miss that. When you don't have it, you miss it. So I think I wouldn't hang my hat. Now, a victory is a victory, right? Mm-hmm. We get W's. It counts towards our
especially
wins and losses.
Yes.
But I wouldn't hang my hat on something that it was an impressive win. I think if I would say this, if Miami played any other team that is contending in the NFC, i.e. The Eagles, the Niners, even as bad as they look, that would equate to a loss. I just think that being able to, there was an opportunity, and we talked about this last week. when your offense, Dallas's offense couldn't get any traction, and they couldn't get the running game going. They had CD, and they just went away from them. I think they didn't maximize what was working for them. And as much as McCarthy, I heard other people bring this up today, and it makes a lot of sense. Everything that McCarthy said he was going to do, he went against. He wanted to run the ball more. They abandon the run more often than not. If they can't get explosive plays, they in a lot of ways, they don't force the defense to stay honest and keep them honest by having a balanced attack with the run and the pass. They become it's self-inflicted that they become one-dimensional. And at that point, unless you get a lead, and of course Dallas is a different team, so many teams, Niners, there are teams that are different with a lead than they are in a deficit. I think I wasn't overall. I was looking at the game, I watched it, and I have to say what I was expecting points wise. I was expecting the motion to just completely baffle and just destroy the Cowboys. I think the Cowboys defense played really well. Of course, I give the edge to Miami's defense. I think that game was solely won defensively from Miami. Because I was expecting Tyreek to really, that explosiveness really to, be on showcase and showcase that speed, the running game. I mean, Mostert and Jeff Wilson and just Achane, everybody that can run 23 miles an hour. I was expecting to see them all go, and I didn't see that. And if the teams that you would potentially face down the line, even in the AFC, 5 field goals is not going to be it. And so I thought Dallas would have a shot, because anytime you're getting into the red zone and you're not punching it in the end zone, you're giving the other team an opportunity to come back and win that game. And Dallas just couldn't capitalize. So good win by Miami. But I wouldn't make them world beaters. I wouldn't make them, Super Bowl bound. But I listen. Some games are just ugly games. They win it how you win it. How you win it.
You win it how you win it. And let me tell you something. We're new to this right here. All right, we're not. We haven't been winning. Say like the Eagles, Niners, Cowboys been consistent. We've been off the map for a while. So this is a growing step for. See, y'all look at it like, yo, we got to score 40. 50. No, we don't need that. Let's win a grimy game. You know what I'm saying? Without winning the way everybody knows for us how to win. You see what I'm saying? Let's win the field goal game. Win in all forms, because you're not going to always put up 30 and 500 yards of offense every week. So this is new for us. Winning in December, new for us. You see what I'm saying? So this is part of the growing stage for us. But we're new here. So I'm like, this is why I like the win, because this is a different way for us. And to get a win like this at this point of the season, this is a growing step for us right here. You know what I'm saying? This game here, a year ago, maybe 2 years ago, we maybe lose, or we're not even in this predicament right here. So it's all a growing pain. Losing Waddle, I mean, that was, everything changes up with that. Both teams had a lot of, injuries coming into the game. It's late in the season. You know what I'm saying? This is a big win for us, right? Still put ourselves in the situation to get the number 1 seed overall. This is new, man. So I'm not, it's not glamorous, the big we blew them out. No, because I told y'all from Sunday, from the show before, I said this is going to be more of a defensive matchup here. You know what I'm saying? Dallas defense is pretty good. I felt one thing we didn't do enough against Dallas is run up the middle. That's what we should have did. We had a lot of success when we did run up the middle. We kept trying to go wide on them a lot, and they kept shutting that down. But once again, we adjusted. Like I say, we mano on that last drive, helmet to helmet, we put it on them and did what we had to do. That's it. Good win for us, man. Give us some credit on this show, man.
You got credit. Someone say give us some credit on this show, man. You got credit.
You got credit.
It's a different win. It's a different win, man. It's a different type of win.
Give us some credit on this show. Brooklyn Bears the ball. We give no respect.
We didn't go and throw ice every week. Fireworks. No, you're not going to get that. Let's win this way. Because honestly, when you get in the playoffs, you are playing teams that have identities. You know what I'm saying? You're not playing teams trying to find. Everyone has their identity by the time the playoff time comes. This is not our identity right here. No one knows us to kick 5-6 field goals in a game. So add this to the team repertoire now. We could beat you with field goals and play good defense. Let's go.
Scrap, what you got on this?
Scrap, what you got to say, man?
I feel like Dallas blew a opportunity, a golden opportunity. You know, they had like Rod said, they had chances to win these games and they just couldn't capitalize. And as far as the 5 field goals, you got to take points when they're there, especially against a defense like that. Yep. So I think Miami did everything they were supposed to do. You kick the field goals. I mean, if you don't have a 4th and 1 unstoppable play in your back pocket, then take the field goal, man. You got to take the points when they're there. You know, and that's what Miami did. I felt like Dallas, oh my God. I'm sitting there watching the game. Like, I mean, I'm happy they lost and I'm not surprised they lost, but I'm just sitting there like, how did they blow that? Like, it's just like, how do you go away from your best weapon for 2 whole quarters? Like, I'm not believing it. I'm baffled. I'm like, wow, they look like us abandoning the run after it was working. Like, it was just, but I mean, I wasn't surprised. Like, it didn't surprise me at all that Dallas lost that game. Remember, originally before Corey went off the reservation and I switched my pick to Dallas last week, I originally picked the Dolphins to win. But that's because Dallas is at home, they're battle cat. On the road, they're cringing. I said that many shows ago. It's just for some reason they like my man on life. Can't get right. They can't get right on the road. They find ways to lose games. Seem like more times than not. They find ways to snatch defeat out of the jaws of victory every time. You see what I'm saying? So I mean, like, if Dallas has to go on the road for the playoffs, they'll be going home early, like really, really early. I mean, I know Rod don't want to hear that.
No. I'm with you on that. You're not really.
No, I mean, I know.
Go ahead, Devin. I'll let you finish.
I know you reserve hope and be like, well, like I said, in the playoffs we're all 0-0, but you are what you are. Coming into that, if you're a bad road team during the regular season, you're not automatically going to turn into like a great road team in the playoffs. Unless the other team got a bunch of players hurt and you just take advantage of deficiencies. But coming into the I don't like y'all on the road. I mean, I love y'all on the road, I should say, because it's a good chance that y'all going to lose. But yeah, if y'all don't right y'all wrong, so to speak, y'all will be going home very, very early. Very early.
I feel you on that. I don't. Any reasonable Cowboy fan would say there's a lot of concerns, particularly if we take the logical path through the playoffs, which is Cowboys end up with the 5th seed, got to see Tampa Bay who's playing hot. Baker Mayfield, maybe comeback player of the year right now. I mean, they're playing really hot. I have a lot of concerns going into Tampa Bay, having to win that first game on the road. Very concerned about that, especially with their weapons as well. So, but 2 key plays for me, again, if I could I'll say this real quick, D, I'll throw it back to you. But Hunter Lemke, fumble at the 1, and then Pollard the play prior to, not running to the pylon to get the easy score. I mean, to cut back, to do that just made no sense to me. It was completely ludicrous why you would do such a thing. If you that dude, you wanted to get the money, thank God Dallas tagged him. But because I don't think he's going to be our lead back next year. Dallas is definitely going to try to work something different with him. But the truth is, that was in a moment where you got to be able to understand what this is about. That was Zeke Elliott. Zeke would have blew that man out the water, son. It wouldn't have been none of that, no Lemke getting the ball, none of that. Zeke is going straight up. He was our version of a push back then. You know what I'm trying to say? And so the 2 plays that was critical, you drive 73 yards, 15 plays, you get down there, and Lemke fumbles the ball. I mean, even though that's a fumble on Dak, they're going to give Dak.
Why is he even getting the ball?
So
that's a quiz Watkins.
Why did he get the ball?
Watkins, right.
No, you're right.
Why?
You give it to your main players.
But D, let me make this quick point. And I understand what you're saying, D, and that's why I say Dallas is dumb. But why is it with teams today, right? Everybody wants to be cute. Like, everybody wants to do something that is so unnecessary to do. Just stick to this. That's why I miss football in the 90s and the 80s when you played to your strengths and that's all you did. You didn't do, and when it's 4th and inches, you want to put 15 guys in motion. You want to go ahead and do a flea flicker on 4th and 1. Like, why do these stupid things? Hunter Lemke getting the ball at the 1-yard line, that's a different kind of handoff right there. You understand what I'm saying? That's a different kind of play where you got to be able to get the handoff and run quick because you got everybody at the line. It's different when it's in a different position of the field. But when you got that situation, you got to get somebody that's used to doing that. Now, he was part of our game plan. He did get 2 carries and a catch on that same drive. But my thing would have been like, yo, Tony, why in the hell you get into the end zone, bro? Listen, I'm giving you the rock. You're going right up the middle, all right? Get this tutty and stop playing. That's the kind of thing you don't see Dallas do. We're just everybody's so casual with each other. Everybody's so nice. Nobody's bark. The only one that barks on anybody is CD. After the 49er game, he went to Dak. He went to McCarthy. He barked on them in the media, and they said, according to insiders, he had heated discussions with them and said, yo, I need the ball. And after that discussion, that's when CD went on his tear. Because you can't omit your best players. Not in December. You don't experiment with a Hunter Lemke on the road when you got a chance to go up 7-0 on a high-powered offense like the Dolphins. Get the 7 points. Stop playing with a Hunter Lemke. Just give Colin or Rico or Dak. You go in and just do the quarterback sneak and get the ball in. It's so simple. It's stupidity. So you're right, Donald. I don't know why. We pulled the Watkins right there. It was stupid. It made no sense. No sense. But those are the 2 plays that killed us too as well.
So do you think, depending on how this season ends, do you think that Mike McCarthy survives this?
What, at the end of the year, you mean?
Yeah. Do you think? I mean, because
I hope not.
He pushed to get Kellen Moore out so he can the offense for whatever reason. Although, in my opinion, the offense was better last year than it is this year, right? And you know, you have some better players. I mean, you had Zeke, right? And Zeke played, and Tony Pollard being the featured back. We know that's not it. He looked a lot better when he was in a secondary role, right?
Complimentary.
So, yeah, exactly. So the fact is that from a standpoint now, I mean, I don't want to bring up what's his name, but there's a guy in Cleveland that's balling out that maybe if you had him as another receiver, that's neither here nor there.
There's a lot that went in with that, but I agree. I mean, there's a lot that went in with Coop just didn't show up either in big games. I know everybody talks about it. Coop is a good receiver, no doubt about it. But Coop
is good.
Coop just sometimes he just didn't show up, man. That's the same reason why the Raiders traded him. It's like he can ball, but there's no. I wish he had that dog in him like CD. He doesn't show up. There was a play against the Eagles 3 years ago, back in the Jason Garrett era, when it was a 4th down and 4. He took himself off the field.
I remember that.
I don't know. His toenail was bothering him. His eyebrow wasn't.
How many years ago was that?
That so this is back in Jason Garrett.
It had to be 5 years ago. At least right?
Well, let me see. McCarthy's been there for 3, so yeah, for 4 now. So yeah, it was right. It was about maybe 2 years before Garrett had left. But it was a playoff implications game. We missed the playoffs. So if we win that game, Dallas is in the playoffs. It was a win. We controlled our own destiny. We lose in Philly. 4th and 4. Critical moment. He takes himself off the field. Plus, he didn't want to get vaccinated. He missed 2 games last year during the COVID season where he did, not last year, but the year he was there, the last season he was there because he didn't want to get vaccinated, that whole thing. So it was a whole big issue with that kind of ticked Jerry and them off.
His body, his choice. Now,
his body, his choice. Right,
so
exactly.
I'll say this. If McCarthy, if you had your way, understanding who Jerry Jones is, McCarthy, if you say McCarthy needs to go, who fits into what Jerry Jones will accept as a head coach? Because you just can't say, "Oh, I want Belichick." That's not going to work. No, I want Jim Harbaugh. You would have to find a coach that fits and Jerry Jones is comfortable
and
with.
obliged with Jerry. Yeah, that's what you need.
And so who would that be? If
nobody.
McCarthy...
Well, here's the thing. If you hire another Jason Garrett-esque, McCarthy-esque type coach, which is what Jerry would hire, then Dallas is going to just stay where we are. We're going to always plateau at 12-4, 12-5, whatever we're going to be, and we'll be first round exit. Maybe we'll get to a divisional round and we'll lose there because Jerry, as we all know, this is the quandary for the Cowboy fans. This is what we have to go through because Jerry's not going to bring in a Jimmy Johnson or a Bill Parcells type quarterback that's going to get in guys' faces and hold guys accountable for details. We've been leading the league in penalties, been top 5 for what? Since McCarthy's been there, even through the Garrett years. No discipline. You don't yell at nobody. You don't scream. I would love to see Mike McCarthy or any coach scream at Dak the way you saw Sean Payton scream at Russell Wilson. And McCarthy is not his personality, but he's got a little cachet, right? I mean, he's coached. When you look at McCarthy's resume, he's coached a lot of great quarterbacks. He was Montana. You had Steve Young. You had Brett Favre. You had Aaron Rodgers. He was a part of all of those systems. He was an assistant coach and the quarterback coach. He was there. He was there.
But he was a Jag.
He was a Jag until
he was a Jag a lot of that time.
But that was his ascension, right? And so he's been around good quarterbacks and to know. And so to be able to get into a face of Dak is not on any of the level, any of the quarterbacks I just named. So my thing is, why don't you do things like that? You would never see him do anything like that because it's just not something that you're going to see Jerry Jones hire that type of quarterback. A strong personality, A-type personality, it's not going to happen. So we're going to always be a good regular season team. And then come playoff time, that's when we're going to fold. And that's going to be, and guess what? Dak's going to get an extension after this year. We're going to rework his contract. Because to your point, Don, who are we going to get? You ain't going to get another Dak, right? You're not going to get anybody like Dak. It's like quarterbacks growing trees. So what you going to get?
You're going to be too good to get,
unless you trade
lottery
picks to get them. Yeah, but you're not going to do that. You know what I'm trying to say? So, yeah, Dallas is just, we're not going to get coaches like that. We're just not. We're not going to get guys that are going to really be about detail. Details and discipline. That's not the Cowboys. That's what always kills them. Dak runs out of bounds and Schoonmaker, his kneecap ain't on the yard line. Those are things that, again, man, these are things that Dallas does. They
that was
themselves.
good defense. Those plays.
No, that wasn't defense. It was he didn't run his route deep enough, and Schultz didn't take his guy out. It's all about I'll share this one last thing. I promise. Let me just get this out, fellas. And I'm upset right now.
I feel your pain, man. I'm feeling your pain, man.
You feel my pain, Scrap? Let me tell you something, man. Let me tell you something. There's a difference. In that play with Pollard running to the pylon, which he should have went to, instead he cuts it back. But if you look at stupid Hendershot right there, who didn't even block, I guarantee you, if that was a Kittle, if that was a Debo, or even an IU, they would have blocked their man all the way back into the tunnel. That dude would have been still getting blocked all the way into the tunnel, son, because they don't want to give up on plays. When they block, they get your hands on you. Everybody is getting tagged and hit. You know what I'm saying? Hendershot just standing there all in the way. In fact, if you look at the play again, you see Pollard actually runs into him as well. So it was a big confusion. Again, it's all on Pollard for running into three guys standing right there, his own teammate and two other defenders, which was stupid. You could just run. All you had was the pylon. You don't think that you have healed enough from your broken ankle that you can't outrun a guy to the pylon? I mean, what the heck? You right there. It was a perfect pitch toss from Dak. You got the guy beat. You cut back inside for
He's
what?
He's going to have an aneurysm.
Yo, I'm telling you, man. Let me tell you.
I see that vein, man. That's
that vein. Yeah, the vein is coming, man. I know. All right, guys.
Oh my
God. You got relax.
Man, it's because it's a bad loss. And Scrap, I agree. It's bad because I don't think Dallas. I'm afraid to play. I don't even want to play Tampa Bay in the road. I really don't. I really don't want to play Tampa Bay in the road. I'm still hoping y'all will take an L somewhere. There's like Donald said, if you squint, there might be a little chance for Dallas to still win the division. It's not going to happen either way. And I'm concerned even about Detroit coming Saturday night. Yes, it's home, but you know what though? Detroit got a still lot to play for because they can still get the number 2 seed. So they've got a lot to play for. Yeah, I'm very nervous about that game. Very nervous about that game. And Dallas, because we do to lose a home game at some point. So listen. But anyway, all right, man. I'm done. Enough for me, man. We got more games to cover. My fault, America. My
all right, fellas. Yo, you good, bro? You got it out, man.
Yeah,
Much
man.
love,
it's all good, baby, bro. It's good.
Yo, I ain't gonna lie. Yeah. That was.
Listen, man. The way you was talking, man. Pass the plate around, man. I'm gonna just go ahead and put that in the plate, man. Take it all, man. Put that in the plate, man. You touched me just now, man.
Yeah, we watched the game together humbly. Me, you know what I'm saying? It was a humble game, real close game. So none of us couldn't never get too excited while watching it.
Blessings, sir.
Good game, pretty good game.
Oh man, if you'd have opened the doors, I'd have came and joined, man. You'd have opened the doors.
I'd open the doors to the church.
Yeah,
the right hand of fellowship, man.
Yeah, I'd have joined, man. I almost stood up a few times, man. Like, listen to him, man. He is just touching me, touching my soul, man. Hey.
Oh, my
Scrap, you
goodness.
stupid, man.
That's so
Way
good,
to get
fellas.
that out, though, man. Way to get it out, man.
Yeah,
Way
man,
to get it out.
it's fine.
Yeah, you gotta let it out. Let it out.
Let it
Better
out,
out,
man.
let it
I
out.
look better now.
Better
Okay,
out
I'm
than
better now.
in, man.
Yeah. I'm gonna go back and watch the all 22. That's cool, Rock. Go back. I want to check out some plays.
Yeah, son. You already know the
Allow
code,
some
though,
stuff.
son. You know, after
You know
Wednesday,
what I'm
that's it.
saying?
We don't talk no
Yeah,
more.
after Wednesday, that's
After
it.
Wednesday, that's it. We move on, son. So
You know
if
what
we
I'm saying?
still
Look at
say
some
cold
YouTube
front
highlights.
statements, all right, son. Yeah, Corey be, he be throwing, he's dropping his little stuff in other
I'm
chats.
gonna check
that
out the
we in.
all 22. I'm gonna see how
Check it
Big
out. Now, you'll
Fangio. I
see,
want to see
yeah.
how he handle. I want to see what he, get into details of what he
probably
did.
did a few things, but then you got to
Mhm.
readjust. You got to adjust to the adjustments. Don't get me started again. You got to adjust to the adjustments. That's what you got to do as a head coach.
Oh,
You don't
man,
let
we
nobody
had him-
take
we
your
had him
best
back.
work.
I
We
messed
had
him
the
up.
vein.
We had him
The
back,
vein
man.
had,
Yeah,
Man,
man.
went
It was
away. It's coming
smooth.
back
The
now.
surface
It's
was
coming back.
smooth, man.
Nah,
You done made the San Andreas Fault show back up, man.
right.
Oh
Goodness
man,
gracious.
yo, fellas,
I'm
man,
surprised he
I'm
ain't turned green, man.
turn green, right?
Yeah, he's going hawk on us, man. You wouldn't like me when I'm
You
angry.
wouldn't like him when
You don't
You
like
don't
when
like
I'm
him when
angry.
he
You
angry.
wouldn't like me when I'm angry. Yeah.
Yo, fellas, I
Oh, God.
appreciate y'all once again for having me on the show, man.
All
right.
You know what I'm saying? It's
Appreciate
been a
it.
great season, a
Yeah.
lot of unexpected going on.
I'm surprised you
guess I'll
couldn't stick around. You want to talk about the Miami
I-
game and the Giant game. I mean, not the Miami game, the
The
49ers.
49ers, nah, Don,
You know,
Don don't know. Don, yeah, Don don't know where I meet him at a lot of times when his team lose. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got much to say to Don about that. You know what I'm saying? I'm real quick. You know, they still.
I got a little something for
They-
you. December 25th, 2022. Tua has a 3-interception game in a loss. So I was, I know that me and him had text back and forth, and it was Christmas and, spending time with family. So I did a little research about how many interceptions and multiple games. And it just so happened a year to date, Tua threw 3 interceptions. What a surprise. What a Christmas miracle. So
Those
it
are gifts.
happens. That's a Christmas gift. So it happens. Not to mention, Dak Prescott threw 3 interceptions against the 49ers in a 42-10 loss. Jalen Hurts threw 3 interceptions against the Jets.
I didn't attack you, man. I'm over
All
here.
right. Sorry. Let me scratch that off.
The 3 is the number.
Listen,
then,
you can't
okay.
be going light on Scrap now.
Yeah,
Scrap's still
man.
coming for you.
I didn't do nothing.
He said
No,
mercy.
I'm not.
Yeah, right
Yeah,
now.
man,
He
hands
okay.
up.
He
If he
all
comes
right
out
now.
with his hands up, what can I do? I mean,
He
listen.
came
Touching
out
on
with his
me
hands
for, man.
up.
I'm just sitting here, man. I'm letting y'all get all y'all
I
frustrations
did a little
out.
research. Just
Little
in
research. I
case
see.
I was backed into a corner. But
In case you was back to the corner, right?
I'll say this. I know you're going to go, but I'll say this. Listen, bad loss for us. Bad loss for the Niners. But relax. It is not a problem. Do I feel in any way that my prediction of us winning the Super Bowl has changed? Remember, every time we have a bad loss, what do? That means we're going to win straight into the Super Bowl. Because anytime we lose and it's a bad, everybody's, Purdy, man, he's nothing. He's 262, and they don't even talk to him by his name anymore. What do the Niners do? Win a 5 or 6 games straight. So if we win 6 games straight, that's February. That's confetti.
Well, listen, y'all go definitely.
I'm not worried about it. We good.
Y'all own the NFC, so for sure,
We good.
You'll definitely get into.
But we'll get to that. But let's talk about the Eagles a little bit. Let's get.
All right, fellas, I'm gonna sign off, man. Y'all
All
fellas
right,
be blessed,
thanks for
man.
joining us.
All right, no doubt, fellas. Y'all be easy. All right.
Take it easy.
Later,
Peace.
sir.
Okay, so let's talk about the Eagles, man. The Eagles got back to their winning ways. We were talking to Miami. That was the first winner and team that won. Now let's talk about the Eagles. Eagles were playing. They wind up playing the Giants. Now, as an Eagle fan, our resident Eagle fan, I'm just giving my opinion on it. They shouldn't feel good about that game. You played DeVito. He got benched. Tyrod Taylor, they blew the dust off of Tyrod Taylor. He came in and he looked really impressive. Now, granted, you don't game plan for Tyrod. You game plan for DeVito, his strengths and what he normally does. But Tyrod Taylor came in and moved the ball straight down the field. And so Jalen Hurts, pick 6. The game was way closer than what it should have been. In my opinion, I think the Eagles and some of the players have alluded to this in the locker room. There's frustration on the sideline. There are players saying, although we're winning, and this has kind of been, I mean, when you think about all the teams that are potentially, or people view as being the teams that are going to represent, the NFC and the AFC, they are by far, their point differential, I think it's 21 points. So this is the Eagles, and we've said this before, and it's almost like beating a dead horse. The Eagles, this is the Eagles that has been the entire season. So there's no surprise that they struggle with teams like the Giants, teams that everyone else would normally just stomp out and would be a speed bump on the way to where the ultimate goal is. Winning the division, trying to get deep into the playoffs, try to win the Super Bowl. So I think overall, when you think of Devontae, who they actually got involved in the game, I don't know what's going on with AJ Brown. I don't know. It just seems like they're not clicking. I don't know from a coaching standpoint if they are doing everything they can to utilize their weapons, because they have a lot of weapons. If you think about their players, if you think about their core players and their skill position players, they have 2 really good receivers. They have a running game. They have a good quarterback. They have a good tight end. I don't know how, for whatever reason, it equates to only beating your opponents by 21 points over the entire year. I just think, will they have to play the Giants again in 2 weeks? Will they beat the Giants? I'm not as confident as I was prior to this game, because the Giants now have tape. Now they can figure out how to attack. Maybe Tyrod Taylor is the starting quarterback for the rest of the game. I mean, for the rest of the season, and he's able to move the ball down the field. I mean, Darren Waller. I just say this, Darren Waller. You know that you're trying to drive the ball down the field. Why, when you make a catch, and I think it was only his second catch of the game, why are you laying in the bed and just wallowing? Like he was just laying in the bed like he was just enjoying the turf or grass or whatever it is. There was no sense of urgency. Why didn't you get up, rush the ball to the ref so they could set it down and keep the play going? You knew you didn't have timeouts. You knew that the clock was against you. So it's that kind of lack of attention to detail that was the reason why they didn't win. But it's dangerous for the Eagles, because anybody else, any other team that you would face, and teams that you would potentially face in the playoffs, playing like that wouldn't work. That would not fly. What do you say?
What I'm going to say is what I said the other day during the preview. Okay, if we don't put hands and feet on this team, it's going to feel like a loss to me. And that's exactly what it feels like. It don't feel like a win to me at all. Like, I was getting ridiculed in, one of the Philly sports groups because I expressed displeasure with the win. And they're telling me, oh, just be happy with the win. A win is a win. And I said, no, absolutely not. I said, when you coming off a Super Bowl loss, right, and you have Super Bowl aspirations, okay, maybe the first couple weeks with the new offensive and defensive coordinator, I can accept that. But you're not going to tell me in week 16 we're okay with being a win is a win team. Like, no, that's not what we're doing. Like, we looked horrible. We doing stuff that was just like, how do you run into your own man and make him fumble a kick return? Like stuff like that. It's like, and I even text. I said, well, I thought Covey was going to fumble it, but I said, yo, he's going to fumble one of these. Mark my words. But it was Boston Scott. But also, like I said in the chat with the pick 6, I don't put that on Hurts. Goddard fell, and Don said that's an excuse. Okay, remember what I said weeks ago? I said we're the only fan base that's not allowed to give reasons when stuff happens. Because anytime we give a reason, it's used as an excuse. But going back to this, because like I wasn't satisfied with that. I'm not happy with the win. I feel just like Devontae Smith. Yeah, we 11-4, but I'm not happy with our performances, because like around this time of year is when teams start to separate themselves. Okay, and you you pretty much come into form. You see what I'm saying? Around this time to make your playoff push. Now, if this is our form, I'm scared. I'm terrified. Like, I don't see. I mean, we might win a home playoff game just because of the atmosphere and the adrenaline and all that, but I don't see us beating the San Franciscos or even the Rams. Like, at this point, the Rams can come in and play spoiler. Like, the Rams are playing great. Like, I sat there, like, when I watched that game, I did not feel like we won that game. Even though in the stats we won, I don't feel like that was a win because we should have put hands and feet on them. We were on our way to doing it, but then for some reason we decided to just, play like a high school team, not even high school, middle school team. Like that miscue with the fumble is inexcusable. It's inexcusable. Like I don't even understand. Like all I can say is, of course that happened. Why wouldn't it happen? Like, we're up 20-3. We ready to get them on the ropes, throw our flurry, get their mouthpiece taken out, and all of a sudden they're back in the game. I'm like.
That's how disappointed he is.
Sorry, somebody
was calling it. Yeah.
Somebody called my son's iPad. Yeah, but yeah, it's just like I said, I mean, even though it was a win on paper, this does not feel like a win to me. This is the team where this should have been a get right game for us. In every aspect of it, we should have dominated on defense, dominated on offense. What I didn't like is after, players made plays that they supposed to make, they jumping up and they looking in the camera, they doing their little celebration. It should be none of that right now. You know what I respected at the end of the 49ers game? They were down. The dude Bell caught a touchdown. There was no celebrating. He gave the ball to the referee right to the sideline. That's not what we're doing right now.
Yeah.
Okay, you got to understand the big picture. What's going on? Like, we do not look good. We look bad. We look horrible. Okay, on both sides of the ball. Now, like I said before, the offense should and probably will be fixable. It may be fixed, but I don't see it. Like, the body language, the language that's coming out of their mouths, that language, everything points to a team, in disarray. Like, I can't see this. I can't see this ship getting righted. Even though I would love to. You know how many celebrations I got lined up for this? Do you know? I mean, y'all know me, so y'all know I got some pretty good stuff, on standby. But I couldn't come in here all after a game like that. I'd look foolish, man. I would look real foolish, man. And I said, and I'm standing on what I said. How the kids say, I'm standing on business with this one. Like, I don't feel like that was a win. I felt like that was a loss. Because we had a chance to make a statement against a tomato can team, because now it's our turn. Everybody had their chance to punch on these type teams, and now it's our turn, and we dropped the ball. We dropped it. Plain and simple. Like, yeah, we won, but it don't feel like a win. I'm not happy with it. We should have blew them out, but we didn't. And now that's why everybody's upset in Eagle Land. Other than like the real fans, that's like, because I took the green glasses off weeks ago. Now I'm like, I'm of sound mind and body, and I'm looking at it from not just a Philly fan standpoint, but as a sports fan standpoint. And if I'm on the outside looking in, if I'm one of these other teams, I want to play the Eagles. I'm like, oh man, that's our best bet. That's our end right there. You see what I'm saying? Like to draw the Eagles right now is probably like, it's like winning a Powerball. You know what I'm saying? Just like, of course, like Don would say, I would be licking my chops to play the Eagles right now in the playoffs. I would. So they got 2 weeks to I don't know. I'm done. I'm lost, man. I'm really lost. But I'm going to be here every week, rooting them on, and I'm going to be, expressing the same displeasure if they put out performances like they did yesterday, because that was horrible. That was like I said, I felt like we lost that game, even though we won. I didn't even listen to sports radio today, because I know it would have been a lot of callers calling in, oh, just take the win. No, you tell that to a team like Houston. You tell it to a team like Green Bay. These fringe teams, okay? If you got Super Bowl aspirations, you should not be happy with that performance yesterday. Not even a little bit at all. And that's where I'm at. I'm not happy with it.
I guess let me ask you this though, Scrap, because I'm looking at the stats here, right? And I didn't see the game with in great detail. In fact, we was a group of us that went to watch The Color Purple yesterday, the movie. And so I'm in the movie theater while you told Harpo to beat me. I'm trying to see.
Yeah, the color green is hard.
I'm in the straight.
Right.
I got YouTube TV on watching the game straight up high, man. I'm like, what between that game and the Laker game? So I'm going back and forth and watching the Lakers. We, you know what I'm saying? And we came back at the half and the whole nine. So I'm watching the Giant game, watching Harpo beat me, watching, you know what I'm saying? Everything else going on here. So I didn't see the game with the detail, but it looks like, I don't know, who would you say? Because it looks like defensively though, right? And we know that the offense is it's very, it's not good, right? Very inept offense for the Giants, right? But they had 186 passing yards. That's between Taylor and DeVito. And had 106 rushing.
Well, Taylor threw like an 80-yard bomb on one play for a touchdown.
Right. So it seems to me that the defense, though, right? And if that's the case, right? Because I think what's his name? Darius Slayton got the big play, right? So actually it's a 69-yard touchdown run. Here it is. I mean, a pass play, right? So, and the longest run that Saquon had was 12 yards, and he only averaged 3.5, right, on the ground. He had 23 carries for 80 yards. The whole team for the Giants rushed for 106 in total. So, roughly, I mean, it was basically, just a little bit over 300 yards for the day, right? So, not bad. I mean, that's good defense. So, what did you say? What were you looking? Did you want to see something from the defense, or was it the offense? Obviously, I know you talked about the miscues. I didn't see the fumble, or was it a punt or something like that you had said?
It was the opening kickoff of the third quarter. We got the ball back after the half.
Okay.
Boston Scott fields it. He goes to run, and for some reason, Zacchaeus runs into him.
Oh, okay.
Kind of like remember the play at the end of the Cowboys game when Hurts and was it Swift or Gainwell ran into each other and Hurts dropped the ball, but we recovered it.
Right.
It was one of those situations, but we didn't recover it. Like, it's week 16. This should not be happening. It shouldn't be happening on any week, but in week 16, this should not. When you're trying to lock up the division and possibly, fight for the number 1 seed, even though that's a stretch because I don't really see the 49ers losing no more games. But even then, like, this should not be happening. And once again, we abandoned the run. When we started giving the ball to Swift, I put in the chat, I said, hey, what do you know? A running play. Okay, we started running the ball. Like, for some reason, we like to play like we're down even when we're up. There's no reason for Hurts to throw the ball upwards of 30 to 35 times a game. It's no reason. We got one of the best offensive lines in the league. We got some of the best, the best running threats in the league, but we don't use it. What good is it if you don't use it? That's like Kareem saying, yeah, my skyhook is all that, but I'm not using it. Like, use what works for you. Use your bread and butter. You gotta use it. You have to use. You have to play to your strengths, especially this time of year. Like I said, like around this time, the 49ers, they're rounded in the form. Okay, they showed you. If this guy not going to do it, we got this guy. If that guy, we got this guy. If these guys ain't, then guess what? We can also use this guy. Like, they have layers, multiple layers, and they show it to you on a weekly. But they don't show you everything, but they show you. Listen, if we have to, or if we need to, we got a rabbit in our hat that we can go to. Okay, we don't have that, and we just had man. Listen, the tree almost came down. That's why I just left. I just left, man. I'm like, I just left. I said, you know what? And good thing I was in the car when Darius Slayton caught that ball. Good thing, because I would have, I would have took the tree smooth out.
Smooth out, bro. Smooth out. Well, at least you know your OC is gone next year. Your OC and DC is definitely gone next year. Them dudes definitely going to be on the market for a job.
I don't think Patricia did a bad job. At some point.
Oh, I forgot. Yeah, he's calling the plays now, right?
I don't think he did a bad job.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It looks like statistically, based on statistics, y'all played. You play great. Again, I know the Giants' offense ain't world beaters, but I'm saying
exactly. That's what I'm saying. A team like that. How y'all say in New York, y'all supposed to wash them. Did I say it right? You're supposed to wash a team like that, and it just don't look good. But what I say about the defense is, just like Kansas City's receivers, you get what you pay for. We don't outside of that front four, there's nobody on that defense. The back now, I do like Ringo. I like Ringo, the rookie corner that we got out of Georgia that's filling in for Slay right now. I like him because
Slay still out. Slay didn't play yesterday.
No, he had knee surgery in the middle of the season. Yeah, he had knee surgery.
Okay, wow, I didn't know that. Okay, my bad.
Something you do in the off season, because it's his knee while he keeps getting torched. Okay. So but I like Ringo because he's a fairly good cover, but he can tackle. He puts the man on the ground, okay, which is one of our biggest problems. I think we haven't had a tackling cornerback since like Eric Allen or Al Harris or somebody that. Even Asante Samuel was just to put your shoulder on the guy as he runs by you. Okay.
Right.
Yeah, our secondary can't tackle in a phone booth, man. So I think I don't know what that cornerback from the Colts is that we signed. I think he's suspended for gambling this year. The Colts.
I can't think of his name, but I know you're talking about.
Yeah, we signed him in the offseason because I think the Colts released him. So we got him coming next year. I don't know what he is. He can't. At this point, we can't be no worse than what we got out there.
Right.
Like really, like it's just our defense. But I'm not going to beat the dead horse about the defense because we know the defense is horrible. We've known that since maybe week 1, but we, try to give it the benefit of the doubt with the new coordinator. So by week 5 or 6, we like, okay, this is just who the defense is. So now we got to rely on the offense. And like I said before, that's where all the money's spent. So that unit needs to get it together. And they're running out of time. How many more weeks do we going to? I'm running out of defenses for these people is what I'm saying. I'm running out of defenses, I can't block everything. It's like on Street Fighter when you blocking a big move, but your energy's still going down. You blocking it, but your energy's still going down. Like I'm one all you can away from falling into the barrels, man. It's just I don't know what to do anymore, man.
Gosh.
So I don't know.
But you got a W, and you
got to win.
It at least helps because look at it this way: the victory will the more victories you have, and looking at Dallas losing, at least you'll lock up hosting a game. You know what I mean? Because then you got a shot. Like once being on the road, percentage wise, it drastically affects your ability to go deep in the playoffs. I mean, that's just statistically, that's a fact. So there are outliers like the Packers, who are a wild card team, the Giants, they can go and win all these games. But overall, if the bye, when there was 2 byes, that was great. But now that there's only 1 bye, I think a team that hosts, at least you would think with your fan base, the comfort of being at home and not having to travel, that is an advantage for the home team. But there's no guarantee even with that.
Exactly.
But I'll just say this. Some news just came in. I'm following on the 49ers channel. 49ers have agreed to terms with DT Sebastian Joseph Day.
And who is that?
You're going to find out who he is. And you're going to find out. It's just depth. Just depth. He used to play with the Rams, but now he's playing with us.
Yeah. That's who Dallas was looking at, though. We were looking at him too when Hankins went down.
He wants
there was some
to
thought
play
about him
with the winner.
Yeah. Well, we didn't pursue him. It was just talk.
Oh, that was the reason. It was just talk. It was just talk.
Let me retract that. Dallas wasn't looking to get him.
He's a bum,
people
right?
talking about Dallas should go get him. But
he's a bum, right?
Yeah,
no. He's decent. He was on the Super Bowl team with the Rams. I think he won a Super Bowl. Yeah, he did. Yeah,
but I just think from a standpoint, you can never have. There are certain positions that you can never have too many of. And if you can give, especially for the stretch run, if you have goals of getting deep in the playoffs, add a little additions because it's cheap at this point. There's how many games in the regular season? We're not paying them any major money, but having that depth can only help. All right, so let's talk about the game that I know you guys are excited to talk about. 49ers, the Baltimore Ravens versus the San Francisco 49ers. San Francisco 49ers were 6.5, up to 6.5, 7 points. Some sports books. Favorites. Now, I will say this. 49ers, it was a bad game for Brock Purdy, right? 4 interceptions. So let me just kind of be rabbit myself before you guys can say all this stuff. 4 interceptions, but I will say this. When you look at the first drive, although the Ravens ultimately won, we moved the ball on them. We were able to get our passes, the run game. We beat ourselves. Now, I don't want to say anything about. I'm not making any excuse. Brock Purdy threw those interceptions, whether they were things that were kind of deflected passes.
My fault,
if
James
he threw some bad, just direct passes that were bad, some questionable calls, throwing it across his body, all of that stuff made. And then Sam Darnold, who I did predict we were going to have a Sam Darnold sighting. I was thinking of it in victory, though. Right. I did say we would have a Sam Darnold sighting, and we did. Unfortunately, it was in a loss. But I'll say this. I think the 49ers, knowing how they have reacted this season from losses, how they have responded to bad losses. I think from Brock Purdy's standpoint, it's a sobering moment. And I like his response when they were asking him, how does he feel about it? Because the defense, I think the defense played well, considering. I mean, Lamar Jackson, they're the number 1 seed in the AFC for a reason. So they weren't a slouch. And maybe the odds makers were a little disrespectful, putting them at a touchdown deficit. But long story short, I take away from the fact that we were able to move the ball against them. I take from the fact that one bad play or one tipped ball here or there, the game might have been different. So what do you guys say? Now, I do have one thing. Let me because I got to give you a little context to it. So we know I'm not just shooting from the hip, because when you think about what we have done in the grand scheme of things, right? Because Lamar Jackson, he's just an impressive player. He's a great player. 49ers, right. Just for the record, we lost 33-19, right? And typically when we lose, in all of our losing games, we average about 17 points, right? So we had 19 points. 49ers had more passing yards than the Ravens, 308 to 241. 49ers had more rushing yards than the Ravens, 121 to 102. San Francisco outgained Baltimore 429 to 343. Niners had 6.3 yards per play to the Ravens 5.4. And your eyes can roll up in your head. We turned the ball over, and ultimately the turnovers is the difference. If you have 5 turnovers in a game, it doesn't matter how great your team is, you're going to lose. You're giving another professional NFL team more opportunities to score. And so even the greatest teams can't overcome 5 turnovers. 5 turnovers. Now, I wouldn't even count Sam Darnold's turnover because that's garbage time. You're just trying to make chunk plays to make the game more competitive, right? Down the line. A respectful game.
Respectable game, yeah.
Respectable game. Now, I'll just say this and then I'll pass it. Now, do you guys know who Joe Montana is? You ever heard of him?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay, you heard of Joe Montana?
Yeah.
Joe Montana threw his most intercepted passes in a game versus the Bengals, November 4th, 1984, with 4 interceptions. Brock Purdy threw 4 interceptions. What did he do that season? He won the Super Bowl later that season. Not worried about Brock. Brock had a bad game. That does not define Brock as a player. It does not define the San Francisco 49ers. We caught a bad L.
No, it doesn't.
If history is to repeat itself, even in this season, we're going to run off 5 or 6 unbelievable games. And that, by my calculations, I'm looking at the calendar, it should be Super Bowl. It should be confetti coming down on us. So I'm not worried about it whatsoever. The floor is yours.
I'm going to say that if look at the bright side was a person, Jesus.
He said the bright side was a person.
I said if look at the bright side was a person, man. This dude, man. Listen.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
I'm not putting too much stock into that game because it's highly unlikely that Purdy will throw 4 interceptions in another game. Like that just happened. Like James said, it was two were bad throws, 2 were great defensive plays. But I'm just in awe at the fact that my man took that loss and went and did a book report after that, man. Listen, I'm proud of you, man.
Right,
exactly. The initiative to research. You got your thesis, your cliff notes, man. You did a great job. Oh my goodness! Somebody get this guy a smiley face. But listen, my whole thing today, man. I'm not here to kick you while you're down, because you're not even down. You're still up. That's just one of those games that happens. We turned the ball over 4 times against the Jets. Like you said, you can't give, like I said, back then, you can't give nobody that many extra possessions, especially with short fields too. You just can't do that and expect to win. Okay, so that game got out of hand due to turnovers. Like Hurt said, you flush it, you move on to next week. I don't think that's going to affect the Niners one way or the other. Like, they're a resilient team. They're going to bounce back. They're going to be playing, a couple more games. I don't think they're going to the Super Bowl, but they're going to play a couple more games, and it's just they're going to try to make it to they're going to try to make it to Vegas. But but I'm just in awe at this book. I am so proud of you.
Yeah. He gets an A. You definitely get an A.
And I'll say this:
A+,
Lamar Jackson. I'll take one more thing. I'll say this: Lamar Jackson's record against the NFC he was 19-1 coming into the game, so he's 20-1 now. The benefit of that kind of loss, and maybe did Lamar Jackson show his entire complete arsenal? Of course not. But now we have seen him. We are accustomed to the speed of Lamar Jackson, some of his proclivities. We understand that. There you go. That's a Rodney word. Proclivities. That'll work. We know what he's going to do, and kind of, because if you looked at the game, there were so many times where we were inches from sacking him. And so I think, and we were missing some players. I think, given the opportunity again, if we face them in the only time we would see them again would be in the Super Bowl. I like our chances. I don't think that we will be, because we were able to move the ball on them in the air. Kittle had a great game. Brandon Ayuk. Somebody text me, what was Brandon Ayuk doing? Was he blocking? Brandon Ayuk had a wonderful game. And so we already know what Debo can do, right? So my thing is, when the rubber meets the road, any team that we would face in the playoffs to get to the Super Bowl, and once we get to the Super Bowl, are not going to have. Now, if we are healthy, of course, this is all based on health. There is not any team in the league that is going to be able to see us from a skill position player standpoint, because there are just too many, as Scrapp has mentioned, there are too many weapons to shut down. You're not going to be able to shut down. All right, you want to try to shut down Kittle? Okay, Debo is going to go off. You think you can shut down CMC, who has 21 touchdowns? Good luck with that. You got Brandon Ayuk, who has great hands and great footwork. So I don't take it. Nobody wants to lose. But because I feel confident that we are going to see them again, I understand that is a growing pain that we have to endure. You have to kind of get your bumps and take your lumps to ultimately learn from it. We got a lesson. We don't see Lamar Jackson often because he's in the AFC, right? So we would see him every other year or every couple of years, depending on how the schedule falls. But the fact that we get to see him now, I think it bodes well if we get to see them in Vegas. I like that. I like our chances in that rematch. And I think that we will handle business. And I'm confident that we will handle business, and it will be a convincing win, just as they had a convincing win against us.
Well, a convincing win? I don't know about a convincing win. I was shocked that the win last night was convincing. I thought the game would be a lot closer. In fact, to me, 2 things on this game here. Where the 49ers messed up is they stopped giving McCaffrey the ball. The minute Purdy, you could kind of sense it was going to be one of those kind of games. Okay? And this is the stubbornness of, unfortunately, great mastermind coaches like your McVays, McDaniels, your Shanahans. These guys beat themselves because there's a stubbornness in them, right? You got to remember, coaches hold some competitive edges to them too. It's not just the players, right? Coaches, they're competing scholastically, schematically against one another, and I think you get this bravado that comes in with these coaches, and it was shown last night. Again, simple football. You said it earlier, Scrap. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar became the second most lethal scorer and having the most points behind LeBron James, right? In the entire history of the NBA off of one shot. He didn't deviate from it. It was unstoppable. He wasn't going to try to shoot threes, do fadeaways, and try to, do hooks in the lane, all that. Nah, it's going to the baseline, sky hook. No one can stop it. If they would have just kept running McCaffrey, that's all you have to do. Well, against a deep, because you could see the way they was playing Purdy, and you could see the way the defense was set up on that back end. Plus, they got old boy back, the one that intercepted the first pickoff in the red zone there. You know what I'm saying? Because I know he's been out or whatever the case may be, and so he's back, right? So he makes a difference in their defense. But here's the thing, though, Don. All y'all had to do is keep running the ball because you could see that Purdy. Look, when you have a young quarterback, we got to keep remembering now, Purdy is young. He's still young. There's
only a second year, right?
This is only a second and a half. I mean, he came in the middle of last year. So December, right? When
so
are we about to see that game?
Full season.
This is his first full season. Right. So he's young. He's going to throw mad more multiple pick in the game. It's interception games.
Not this year.
He's going to have. No, I'm talking about from a career standpoint.
Oh,
right?
yeah. Okay, that's fine.
And he's going to have multiple touchdowns, touchdown games. He's going to have highs and lows like every quarterback in this league has had during their career. Whether you're a Hall of Fame quarterback or journeyman, it doesn't matter. You're going to have those kind of games. So, but my thing is Shanahan, young quarterback. Don't try to get him and get fancy. Because I'm going to tell you the truth, D. Ayuk's, what did he have? 6 catches for 113 yards. But let's just be honest, put it in perspective. Some of that was towards the end a little bit, but it wasn't
so about like 65 to 70 yards was like from Darnold.
Yeah, well, Darnold had hit him too, because Darnold was 8 for 14 for 81 yards, so he was kind of efficient last night.
So
and some of those hits was on
there,
right, and a lot of that came from Darnold. So I'm saying it was kind of garbage yardage. It wasn't really impacting his performance. Didn't impact at all. In fact, they shut down Debo at 12 targets for only 4 catches for 47 yards. So they shut Debo down. They knew who they wanted to take away. It was the defense of the Ravens that made the difference. I'll give you the fact there were 5 picks. Your defense don't stand a chance. Short field. It was easy for Lamar. So your defense was under pressure. They was on their heels. So when the Super Bowl comes, because I do believe these two teams will be in the Super Bowl. When the Super Bowl comes, you're going to have to make adjustments offensively. You got to run CMC, who is the true MVP of the league, by the way. That's the true MVP.
He got my vote.
He's got my vote. It ain't Purdy, because y'all can still win games without Purdy. It's CMC. That's who you give the ball to. Dude had 14 carries for 103 yards, right? And only 14 carries. He averaged 7.4. He ran for a 39-yarder, which was his longest run of the night. You got to get, when it was only 12, whatever it was, when y'all scored on that play there, you got to just keep running the ball. You didn't have to get fancy. One play y'all did where it was 4th and 1, whatever it was, and y'all did some where you got Purdy scrambling out on 4th and 1. He gets sacked. Y'all got bailed out because there was a holding penalty in the secondary. But why? There's no again. That's what Dallas does. That's what the Eagles do. That's what you know.
Oh no, that ain't what we doing.
Bite your tongue. Bite your tongue. Don't even compare. Don't compare offensive.
D. What I'm saying is, in crucial moments,
you guys are doing
but what I'm saying
creative
is,
things.
Like no. Well,
I get what you don't.
That's the thing.
Overcomplicate it. Don't overcomplicate.
But even in the simple things, Dallas is not as innovative and exotic as the 49ers are, right? But at the end of the day, what I'm saying is, if you just stay simple, right? You give the ball to a CD. You just give the ball to Dak going in on a 1 yard line. Keep it. You don't give it to a Limke. You don't do these other stupid things. That's all I'm saying.
I agree.
Shanahan, all he had to do was just keep giving the ball. The game was still competitive. The game was not a blowout. You could see Purdy was going to struggle against that defense a little bit. When you see that happening, this is just me. When you see that happening with your young quarterback, you then have him just make the throws that need to be made. Definitely needs to go into managerial mode, right? Not trying to, Dak just had a bad game. Now he's the front runner to MVP, which I think is stupid. This week-to-week MVP, who's winning MVP from week to week. You don't do that week to week. MVP is a culmination of the year. It's not week to week. That doesn't make any sense. That's stupid to me. What you do is you got to look at Purdy and say,
it's a design by the desert to make money. That's what it's.
That's
the reason.
Now, can I ask a question?
But I mean,
is it stupid this week because your guy's not in the league?
No, I never cared about Dak winning MVP anyway. I've been saying that on the show. I've been consistent.
No, he has. He has said he doesn't think Dak is the MVP.
They're not going to give Dak. They're not going to give. Listen, that's not going to. They're not giving Dak. Not that they wouldn't give Dak the MVP, but I don't care about the MVP. We trust you. Dallas got a lot more other problems to worry about. Winning the MVP would only add more pressure because then you win the MVP and you get bumped, right? You know what I'm trying to say? So in a lot of ways, it's almost like a Lamar Jackson.
Very Embiidish. It's an Embiidish thing,
it's
right?
Embiidish, yeah. It would be very Embiidish, yeah. You win an MVP.
We ain't doing that. We're not talking about basketball.
Right.
We're not doing that now.
This is not a basketball show, right?
It's not a basketball show. Okay. All right. All right. No, we'll wait till February. We'll get with you in February.
To people that don't have anything to do with the situation. That's called deflection. That's called deflection.
Well, we're just making an analogy, just trying to put it in context. You know what I'm saying? But that's all I'm saying, D. But listen, at the end of the day, does it change anything? No, it doesn't. It just goes to show that
our odds and you know,
y'all are better than anybody in the NFC. Y'all are going
opinion.
to the Super Bowl. You're going to be there. You most likely will play Baltimore. But now again, Lamar Jackson, right? Doesn't mean you're going to see him. He's 1-3 in the playoffs. He don't do well in the playoffs either, right? This team tends to fold too. So I'm saying he may or may not be there. Mess around, you might see Buffalo. Josh Allen might be there. You could go see him. They might get on a nice little run because they're very capable of doing that. Kansas City is not that team anymore. So the AFC could be open. Lamar Jackson could foil. He could fold again in the playoffs. And then again, you might get the break, and then y'all get it, and you might go on and see Buffalo or a lesser superior team.
If we got Buffalo, that would be
it'll be
music to my ears. If we got Buffalo,
I'm sure it would be because y'all are run shot on it. Their defense is still not that good, and y'all.
But I do like the opportunity to get back and play a team that beat us. I do like that. So if I had my opportunity, if I could pick a team to play in the Super Bowl, I would want to play the Ravens. Honestly,
no, I mean you want to play the best.
I want to play the Ravens because of the way they beat us, and then you can really see if your team made the adjustments and the improvements. Because getting beat by a team, yes, and it's, you know, we're kind of a month away, give or take, a little over a month from the Super Bowl.
Listen, I'm sorry, D, I didn't mean to cut you off, but what is James saying here? What did he say? He said, I'd rather lose this game and not let CMC run into that pist of defense. So I'm not trying to understand what he's saying. So you rather say he wants to preserve CMC?
Well, at this point, if I'm understanding him correctly, at this point, we don't want to run, and I've said this a month or so. We don't want to run him into the ground. We want him fresh, as I've said. As I said before in February, we want CMC fresh for Black History Month.
No.
We need him fresh for Black History Month.
No.
CMC, that's when it matters. We
Black
need you
History
in
Month
February.
Is all year long. Black History Month is all year long.
I understand that. We need him.
Listen.
See, you have Tony Pollard as your running back. And you don't have a true running back. So
are you not playing for the number one?
You just said seed? Right, and we can win that without. Right. So let me ask you a question.
So you saying that you would rather preserve, not win? So you mean to tell me if you had an opportunity to win last night's game by running Purdy, CMC, who was running efficiently, by the way. It ain't like he was averaging 2.8 yards a carry, like 50 carries for 101 yards. Okay, I'm saying he was running efficiently like he always usually does. 7.3 yards a carry. So where's he getting hurt? Like that's not. He's barely getting touched until he's in the second. He's in the secondary almost.
Think about the wear and tear over season for the entire season. Look at how many touches.
You do that next week against Arizona. Who y'all play next week?
We play Arizona.
Not Arizona.
We got Arizona next week.
No. We play Washington. Washington next week.
Yeah, you do that to Washington. This is a game against the elite AFC team.
I understand that, but we didn't forfeit our ability or our opportunity to win the number one seed by conceding and not using CMC. We do have to be smart about what we're doing. Once the game was out of hand,
well, that's
at that point you scale back.
At the time when it was competitive, if you had an opportunity,
you saw how he started the game, right?
Unless James was talking about not to keep running him after the game was out of reach.
I would think he's talking about after the fact, like once the game was.
I hope that's what he means. James, clarify yourself, sir.
Yeah, I'm not speaking for you, James, but from a sensible standpoint, I could understand why, because I was on Twitter and somebody that you commented on, they were talking about, did Brock Purdy, with the rest of the starters still in the game, did Brock Purdy get benched? And I was like, only the Cowboys would keep Dak in the fourth quarter when a game is obviously lost to stat pad. That game was over. There was no only thing that could come out of that is Brock Purdy getting hurt. Is an injury. That game was over.
Yeah, I agree.
So from that standpoint, I look at it like, okay, this game is lost. The lessons need to be learned. Look at the film, see what we can do to correct ourselves. Right. Now, what I anticipate the 49ers doing and what they should do is on the Washington team. Give CMC some run, but then you get Jordan Mason in there. Let Mason rock. Elijah Mitchell, I don't know. I just think he's injury prone this season. Yeah. We may not see him at all. But you start kind of scaling back CMC's usage, Debo's usage, get as healthy as possible, right? Because we can beat Washington and even the Rams without our full arsenal of players. And so we have to be smart. Now, once we get the bye, that's an additional week of rest. We watch, the wild card weekend. Maybe, one of your teams play during that time. Maybe the Dolphins will watch them play a little bit, or the Bills. Watch one of those teams play. Get rested and stay fresh, because ultimately, if your goal is to win the Super Bowl, health, if you think about it over the last couple of years, it's always been health that has been the thing that prevents us from really maximizing and winning when you think about our teams that we've had an opportunity. It would be one person or the other, or a string of losses of available players, or 1 year was seemingly our window, and then everybody all of a sudden wanted to retire. They didn't want to get any more concussions, so everybody just left at one time. They were like, nah, I don't want to get hurt no more. And they just retired. So when you have that window, you have to. Now, CMC has proven to be extremely durable. I heard people say on the show that he was going to get hurt and injured. And I think in the back of people's minds, in the back of Cowboy fans, maybe even my co-host, he wants CMC to get hurt.
No, I don't want to get hurt.
No,
that's a legitimate. I would say, not. I don't want to say expectation, but it's not far-fetched.
The Russian title is his. If it's about that, but
no. But I'm saying he's been injury prone in his career. He's been healthy since he's been with you guys. So that's
because in Carolina they was like not doing enough.
They were using him too much. He was everything. So because there are other weapons now, running back wise, he's almost exclusively used. He only takes 1 or 2, maybe 5 over the course of a game snaps off. He's getting upwards of 23 to 25 touches a game. Because remember, he's just as prolific in the passing part as he is in running. So he's on the field a lot. So if you can scale him back, especially in a game that is an obvious loss. Now, I'm thinking if it was close and we were going back and forth and it was tight within a score and we really had a shot, of course he's going to be in there. But I don't see the value in keeping him in there.
But I felt like y'all still could have, even if Mason came in and y'all alternated a little bit. But I think the running game should have taken precedence yesterday against that defense, soften up, and then that opens it up for Purdy a little bit more. But I think Shanahan went into there with the mindset that he was going to get all his guys involved and have Debo and Ayuk running all over the place and Kittles, because you saw he was hitting Kittles big on that first drive and everything like that. So, yeah, I just felt like the game was still competitive enough for Shanahan to still keep the ball in CMC's hand. And I think y'all would have had a better chance, because you could see Purdy was under. And that was another thing, too. Every time he dropped back, he was under pressure, bro. And that was with Trenton there still. He was still running for his life a little bit there. And Purdy gets under pressure, it becomes a little tough for him. So, yeah, that's all I'm saying. That was the only observation that I had really with that game, is that I felt like, again, Shanahan and these other guys, they get that little bravado in them, and they want to do more than what they really need to do. So just like, again, the Miami game, I'll say real quick with Miami. Miami could have just ran the ball on down. Mostert got hurt, but they could have still kind of ran. Now, we did play better defense. We had Michael off ball a little bit on certain downs. But, D, at the end of the day, you knew Miami wasn't going to commit to that run because, again, McDaniels wants to throw the ball. They got Tyreek out there. They don't care. We know, we can get the run, but we're not interested in rushing for 200 yards. We rather have 200 yards go to Hill in the air. So that's what we rather do, because that's what's more exciting, and that's why these guys get paid what they get paid to do, because they just like that's more exciting football to them. But that can hurt you, because then you're taking away the basics of the game. And by the way, I'll say this too: Joe Montana, actually, that out of all the quarterbacks I've seen play in my life of living, I have to, and I hate to say this, but again, I'm objective. The two best players to ever play the game of football on offense and defense that I've seen in my life is Lawrence Taylor and Joe Montana. Joe Montana, to me, is the best. I think he's better than Brady. He's the best quarterback that I've ever seen play the game of football.
I
Joe
appreciate
Montana,
that, man.
and then Lawrence Taylor is the best.
This show about honesty
ever.
too, man.
Yeah, I'm just being honest. Yeah, no doubt. No, Montana, he's way better than Brady. Brady couldn't touch Montana. I mean, I know he got the rings, but he couldn't touch Montana. Montana was a better quarterback, in my opinion. So, yeah.
That's a good opinion to have, man. So, listen, man, anything else you guys want to try to beat me up about Purdy? I was ready to get my whole,
Well, you got an A on your report, though.
I was ready to get my, I was ready to start. I was ready to go like this when y'all started. I was like, all right, let me go on my own. Let me say what I got to say. Let me, because I knew that
he would be rapping on us.
Right. I said, let me just say.
Claire's got two good parents.
Right. Right. 2 interceptions. 2 tackles.
That type of game is called an anomaly.
Right. Exactly. It's one of those. Now, if Brock Purdy overall was, turnover prone, then I'd be like, okay, that's something that we have to look at and we have to be a little more cautious in. But when you think about it, he's not turnover prone. I do like the fact that he gets things in. I mean, there was a play that he did with CMC, and it was a little bit better than a screen pass, but the way he was able to get it into that tight window. You remember that play? They were rushing him. CMC had went for a screen pass, and then the defender was rushing Brock Purdy, and he just got right behind him. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about he was able to fit it in the window that was in between two defenders. CMC was able to get it. It was just simple plays like that that gives me, some courage and some confidence that Brock Purdy will be able to perform in the bigger games.
He will be.
Listen, it was a loss, and it was a bad loss, right?
I think he will.
But how do we respond? How do we bounce back from bad losses, given the way we have this season? I'm not even talking about last season or in years past. We bounce back, and now based off of that, I mean, those type of games, it being a standalone game, Monday night, Christmas Day football, everybody's anticipating it. And for you to take that kind of L, that's a good bad taste in your mouth, if that makes sense. A good bad taste for the 49ers, because they realize that this can't happen again. Brock Purdy is going to not go into his shell, but he is going to be more focused, pinpoint, laser focused on getting the ball to the players and anticipate them, throwing them open. And I like our chances moving forward.
Richard Sherman said this morning that it was Kittle's fault for the interception. I don't know if you saw that this morning. That first interception.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he said
and
it was
he some passes that were behind. Debo
Kittle didn't run his route to the corner. He's supposed to run out a corner route. Well, according to what Sherman was saying, Keyshawn disagreed with him. He didn't think that was a corner route, but he said that was a corner route. And Kittle's supposed to run to the corner. He ran his route short, and he went towards the sideline, but he was supposed to go further to the corner to pull the safety out to give Purdy that window, but he didn't run his route deep enough, and he didn't run the corner, so that left the safety didn't bite, so he just took him. So,
and I mean, really those are things that, being that this is his first full season, there's some certain things as far as just being comfortable. I mean, I believe he's very comfortable on the offense, but these things. In tight situations, when you play that caliber of team, and it's going to be like that into the playoffs, where you're going to play tough teams, and adversity hits you, you got to be able to, make the adjustments on the fly. So I think it's a good learning experience. And
yeah.
I've made my lyrics just need a beat. Okay. Yeah, I was all prepared. I made sure I got that, the producer to put that B Rabbit, clip in, because I was all prepared. I thought Corey was going to stay longer.
He was ready to go,
right.
bro. Right.
I was ready. I thought Corey was going to stay longer. I thought Rod and Scrap was going to have
ready. Boy, D was shook today, boy. D was shook.
I can't.
He was shook. He's like, oh, they going.
I wasn't shook. I was prepared. I got up and I said, yo, let me put pen to paper, and I said, let me not ghostwrite this episode. Let me put pen to paper and be prepared with facts, not opinions. God.
Okay.
That's all good. No, you can't.
Not favor or fanaticism, right?
Favor or fanaticism.
The unadulterated truth.
Unadulterated truth. All right. The word of God. There you go, right. D. Nah, it's all good, man. Nah, Niners in there, man. You're ID. You're still your world. It's still your world, so we good. Don't worry.
Nah, it can't be that. We have to take an L. We took an L.
I just want this to be over with, man. I want to get to the playoffs and just hurry up and just end my misery quick, man. That's all. Just that's all I want, man. Just hurry up and get this over with so we get to the playoffs, and then that's it. We need to talk some NBA after this, man. I'm done.
Yeah, we'll shift it now. Yeah. You sure you want to? Because
I mean,
both of your teams caught an L this week, man.
Lakers is I got a lot to say about Darvingham, man. When we get to the NBA, trust me, man, you're gonna see three veins popping out of my head, son, with Darvingham. So
we good. We good on the NBA side of things. I ain't worrying about that.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Y'all. Did y'all win yesterday? Did y'all win?
No, we lost.
No, they lost. But Embiid didn't play.
Yeah, Embiid. Why he didn't play? What happened to him?
He hurt his ankle against the Raptors.
That stomach start
he came
rumbling.
Down on somebody's foot against the Raptors. So that was our last game.
He always misses the big game. I don't understand, son. It's like he always missed those big televised
game.
The big games. It's always.
I mean, I could be wrong, but I thought he hung a 50 burger on the best team in the league the other night. I mean, that's a big game, right?
Yeah, no, he did. He did.
Denver? He put 50 on Denver?
No, Timberwolves. They got the best record in the league.
Oh, well, they're not the best team. I mean, record aside, they're not the best team. Denver's the best team.
We'll see them soon. Last time he played Denver, I think he put up 47. I mean, it's not 50, but
Yeah, he had a good game against.
And Embiid is like all the great regular season players, bro. You got to see him in the playoffs. He's another Lamar. He's another Dak. He's the Dak. He's the Dak, son. He's the Dak of the NBA.
No,
you know what I'm saying? We got to see him in the playoffs.
Now we got a different coach, man. The dude is playing different, man. He's passing. Oh my goodness.
Nah, Nick Nurse is good.
We ain't gonna get in there. I got to get ready for work, man.
All right, man. We're gonna let you
at
go.
11 o'clock at night.
Right, exactly.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
We got some Knick fans on here too. Okay?
Knick fans,
right.
okay.
Yeah,
Knicks did good. That was a good. That was a good one of Knicks.
Now that dude right there, that's me. He works at the job. You got to hear some of his takes, man. Drew Brees was overrated to him.
Really?
Overrated? Wow.
Yeah, oh my goodness. Quentin Grimes is that's his guy.
Oh man. Yo, you got to join the show.
Yeah, we got to get you on the show, bro.
Join the show earlier, and
we need to hear this. I need you to articulate this.
We'll break down your takes. Didactically break down your takes. Oh man!
He messed with me, Scrap. My Bible studies, right? Didactically break down this, right?
Yo, let me tell you what was hilarious, and we can close the show. That safety on Lamar Jackson was hilarious.
Yo, that was
Twitter had so many things.
When Scrap said good tackle by the ref.
The ref took him down in the end zone. I see
that safety was going to happen anyway. I mean, let's be honest. He was completely surrounded.
I don't know.
Man.
He had the whole left side he could have ran to, man. He had to jump over the ref, man. I think he would at least got out of the end zone. I mean, it could be just me. But listen, man.
Party and show you why I hated red and gold till dead and old. All right.
James got bars. James got bars.
James is spitting bars. That's what I'm talking about.
Right.
Our UK correspondent all the way from the UK. We
Yeah,
appreciate it, man.
Dude, that's safety. I say, I don't ever want to hear you say anything else about somebody getting help from the refs.
That ain't on front, bro.
Yo, the ref kicked his leg up. That was funny though. I was like, oh, I know they're gonna say this.
Oh my
was,
God!
You know what? I was gonna make a meme because they showed a picture of the ref and he was smiling. I was gonna make a meme that says when your parlay has the first score as being a safety.
Right, exactly.
Because the way he did that, I said,
Oh,
you got
man.
to kidding
was-
me.
Yeah, that was. I've never seen that
He
before.
just lost
bro.
his balance, man. That happens.
Yeah, I see. At the perfect time.
Check cleared.
That
That check cleared. That
Yeah.
check cleared.
That's what it
That
checked.
was
He
crazy.
was smiling.
He
After it
looked
was
at
over,
Lamar.
like,
Check clear.
Got it?
I mean, he
You
looked
got it?
at Shanahan. Check clear.
Right.
Check clear.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. That
Check,
was
please.
Check please. All right, good. Now.
crazy. Hilarious.
Oh man, great show, man. Listen,
show,
shout
fellas.
outs to Kingdom Creator for the production. Shout
Appreciate
outs to Infinite Audio for the music. I mean, listen, what do we think about the
definitely
Dolphins?
got the replay. We
Yo,
talked
you
about
got it. We started that. We started the show with the Dolphins.
Who's that? A meet again?
Yeah.
Yeah, me. Yeah. We've been on for what, about an hour and 40 now.
Yeah, hour and 40 minutes.
Yeah, me.
Slipped harder than the Eagles record. Slipped harder than the Eagles record. Yo, listen, James is spitting bars, man.
Yo,
All right, James.
James got
Thanks for
bars.
joining us.
James
Shout
got
out
you on the show one night,
Quick
bro.
shout out to my son Lodge. He
Oh yeah,
put together this beautiful rug, man.
Yo,
you got a
I need
website
that,
or
bro.
something?
You
Yeah,
got
we need
On
one.
Instagram, follow him on Instagram is Lodge Customs, L-I-J. His name's Elijah, L-I-J Customs. You know, he got some of the stuff on there that he did, man. He does, as you can see, he does good work, man. This was
Bad-
almost thrown out the window yesterday
bad
too.
team, but you know, good,
Yeah, man.
good,
See,
good
I
work.
want to give one to Cowboy, but if I see a speck of green in there, though, I'm sitting in the back.
Yeah, he used toilet paper for the
Defective.
Cowboy ones. He used
Oh,
toilet paper
nice.
for that.
Can't get wet. That's dope, man. That's dope. And
Yo,
what's his Instagram again? Say it again so they can.
It's Lodge Customs, L-I-J Customs, on on IG.
Awesome. Much
Thank
love,
you,
James.
James.
Thanks for joining us, man. We
No
appreciate
doubt,
it.
James. Much love, bro. We
We'll
appreciate
catch you on
man.
the next one, man.
Yeah, no doubt.
Okay, awesome, man. So if you want, and that's a rug, right?
Yeah, carpet, rug, yeah.
Carpet, yeah.
Yeah, I got to definitely get that.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
Perfect.
that's cool.
Perfect.
Yeah, that'll
Listen,
work.
we got you on there. Boom.
Okay.
Yeah.
That'll work. And Scrap, send it to our personal chat.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But
that'll work.
once again, join us on our next show. We appreciate everyone, all the comments. Shout out to James, our UK affiliate, Ahmed,
Amit.
Meet.
Amit.
That's what's
Cool.
up.
Shout out to Corey for being on the show. Shout out to, let's see who else.
There's a
I
few other
think
people from earlier.
Rand.
Yeah,
I
James,
think Rand was on the show. I think one of my brothers at church was on the show. He made his comment and kept it moving.
Is that Pow Drill? Was that?
Yeah, it's
Pow
Pow.
Drill? Okay.
Yeah, I think that's him. I think
Okay.
I gotta find out. I think that's him. But once
Dope.
again, appreciate everyone for joining the show.
Appreciate it.
Like, share, and subscribe to our Facebook, YouTube page. Once
And
again,
comment.
and comment. Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
And we'll be our next show. We'll be talking about the week 17,
Yeah,
and we'll see what's going on. Will the Cowboys bounce
Cowboys
back?
Saturday night game.
Yeah,
for the
that's
Cowboys.
gonna be a big one. All right.
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah.
thank you, everyone. Until next time. Peace.